Hi everyone, and welcome back to Writing Guy. There's a certain look in a man's eyes when he stopped caring. Not the angry kind, not rage. It's quieter than that. It's duller. It's not that he doesn't feel anything, it's that the feelings don't land anymore. Like he's watching his life through a screen. You ask him how he is, he says, I'm good. Maybe smiles, maybe makes a joke, and the conversation moves on. You wouldn't think anything's wrong, but he knows. He knows he hasn't actually felt good in years. He's not depressed, at least not in the dramatic way we imagine it. He's just off, detached, disconnected, suspended from his work, from his people, from himself. This essay is about that man, and maybe it's about you too. What does it mean to stop caring? Let's be clear, not caring isn't always obvious. We imagine it looks like sloppiness, a guy who gives up, sweatpants all day, dishes in the sink, avoiding calls, ghosting life. But that's not always it. Sometimes the guy who stopped caring still gets things done, still showed up to work, still hits the gym, still posts. But inside, he feels nothing, no pride, no passion, no real pulse, just a dull hum of autopilot. He's not reckless, he's not even dramatic, he's just running out the clock. You start ghosting texts without guilt, you avoid eye contact, not out of shyness, but out of disinterest. You keep conversations light because nothing deeper feels worth it. You scroll endlessly, not because you're entertained, but because you can't bear to sit with silence. You daydream about disappearing, not to die, but just to stop existing for a while. You smile in pictures, but feel like a cardboard cutout of yourself. You sleep, but never rest. You aren't sad. You just aren't much of anything. At first, you care, you try, show up, you pour out, and maybe people don't show up for you in return. Maybe you get hurt, maybe you fail, maybe you're ignored. You give and give until giving starts to feel like bleeding. Eventually, the math doesn't add up, so you do the most reasonable thing, you pull back just a little, and then a little more. And then one day you wake up and realize you haven't actually felt anything in months. Why men stop caring? This part hurts to write because it's real. Most men don't decide to become emotionally numb. We're trained into it, bit by bit, rule by rules, and punishment by silence. From a young age, boys are taught that emotions are liabilities. Crying, weak, need support, needy, talking about feelings, girly, showing hurt, embarrassing. So we toughen up, swallow it down, be the rock, be the soldier, be the stoic. We're told to be cool, unbothered, chill, indifferent. But there's a problem. Cool is often just cold. Most male emotional detachment doesn't come from big trauma. It comes from 1,000 small betrayals. Your dad never really looked you in the eye when you talked. Your coach only praised you when you won. Your girlfriend said she loved you, then left you unread. Your boss said we're like family, then cut your hours without warning. Your friend said hit me up anytime, but hasn't initiated in years. And you start to learn caring leads to disappointment. So you start buffering, distancing, armoring, because it's better to feel nothing than to feel like a fool again. Modern life isn't built for emotional connection. It's built for performance. Work harder, scroll faster, do more, post it, optimize, repeat. You grind until there's nothing left. You win and still feel empty. You achieved and it's already not enough. Eventually, you stop asking why. You keep moving forward. Forward towards what? You're not even sure anymore. Let's not pretend that emotional detachment doesn't serve a purpose. It does. For a while, not caring can save you. When you care too much, everything feels like a threat. Criticism cuts deeper, rejection stings longer, loss devastates. So you detach. You convince yourself it doesn't matter, and that lie makes it easier to survive. There's a certain power in apathy, or at least it feels like power. You don't flinch, you don't beg, you don't get needy. People can't hurt you if you don't give them anything to hurt. You wear your detachment like armor, polished, untouchable. You become the guy who doesn't get attached, who keeps it casual, who doesn't take things personally. But here's the truth. Armor that never comes off becomes a coffin. It doesn't happen all at once. You start out just protecting yourself. Then you wake up one day and realize you walled off everything, even the good stuff. You stop texting back. You cancel plans last minute. You don't initiate calls, not because you hate your friends, but because you don't see the point. Conversations start feeling scripted. Connections feels like chores. Eventually, people stop reaching out, not out of malice, just mutual detachment. And you start to believe a lie. Nobody really cares anyway. But the truth is you taught them not to. You might still be productive, still hit goals, still meet deadlines, but it's mechanical. No fire, no pride, just output. You work to avoid thinking. You grind so you don't have to feel. And when people praise you, you feel nothing. Because your heart left the building years ago. You fill your days with distractions. Podcasts while you cook, YouTube while you eat, TikTok while you're in the toilet, and Spotify while you're dozing off. There's no quiet, no stillness, because in stillness you might hear that you're not okay. So you keep the volume up, but the music doesn't move you anymore. This is where most self help stuff fails. It tells you to care more, but doesn't show you how. It says open up, but doesn't tell you where to begin. So let's make this practical. Start with the first baby step. You don't need to find your purpose. You don't need to fix your life. You just need to give a damn about one thing. Water your plants every morning. Cook a real breakfast instead of heating leftovers. Text your best friend. You want to go for a beer? Take a walk with no headphones. Light a candle at night, even if nobody's coming over. Next is to let yourself feel silly again. Caring is embarrassing. It makes you feel vulnerable, makes you look like you want something. So what? Let yourself be a little cringe. Buy a flower for your desk, maybe a small plant. Make a playlist and name it something dramatic. Find a movie that made you cry years ago and watch it again. Send a friend a voice note, even if your voice cracked. Caring isn't weakness. In a culture that tells you to be chill, lay back, caring feels like a rebellion. Next is to write something down. Not for aesthetics, not for social media, just for you. Write what hurts, write what you miss, write what you are afraid to admit out loud. Ask yourself, what am I pretending not to care about? When did I start feeling nothing? What would I fight for if I let myself care again? Your answer don't need to be profound, and they just need to be honest. Detachment isn't strength, it's self-defense. The real strength is letting someone in, saying I love you first, tell your loved one you miss them, asking for help without shame, and showing up when it's easier to disappear. Nonchalance isn't bravery, it's a hiding place. Bravery is being seen fully and not running. So, your emotional life is a house. Sometimes it gets messy, sometimes it gets cold, sometimes you don't invite anyone over. So, start cleaning one drawer at a time and make it livable again. Stand in the sun for 5 minutes, stare at the moon, listen to your favorite album from start to finish, no skipping. Let something outside yourself matter again. Caring means risking, and so does detaching. You either risk getting hurt or risk never feeling anything again. You don't need to be the best version of yourself. You don't need to be a walking Pinterest board. You just need to give a damn about your life again. You're not broken. You're just guarded, just tired, just waiting for reason to try again. And before we finish it off, just remember that you are still capable of feeling. You are still capable of affections. You're still capable of coming back to life. Start today. And if you would like to read this in full, to write it again along with me, you can visit awritingguy.com to read the written version of this video and also to download the free pages and the full handwriting guide. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.